I am the creative in residence. I have a 9-month residency here, which will be ending next month. I can't believe it. I am a creative. I love to make things. I specialize in fashion design, sewing, knitting, and crocheting. But I don't limit myself to those three things. I am also an entrepreneur. I have a business, Endangered Stitches, where I offer uh, courses in knitting, sewing, and crochet here in New Haven. Endangered Stitches was founded during the pandemic, so I learned a lot. So a lot of what I'm sharing will be tips that I've learned myself through research for my own business, and that, to launch my business, and that I've developed over the time, information and tips that I've developed over time through research. So social media. Today we're going to go over what it is. What is social media? We use the term very often. We hear it a lot, especially in this day and age where we're in a Zoom era. Everything is online. What is social media? Then we'll go over the different platforms that are available. There are so many. I doubt I'll touch each and every one, but there are a lot, and there are some that are more popular than others. So we'll go over those and the purpose for each. Then we will go into a strategy. So this is specifically for business. If you're doing social media for your personal, you don't necessarily have to strategize, even though a lot of people do. They want to make sure that their layout is beautiful and that it attracts people. So they may strategize as well. But for your business, it requires a little bit more strategy to make sure that you're hitting your target audience in the way that you want to. And then we'll have time for questions and answers, a little bit of Q&A in case I missed anything, if you want to go further into detail about anything. So social media. Social what? Social media. So when we hear social media, what do we think? You're sharing thoughts and ideas. You automatically think on a virtual platform, electronic, on a computer, on your phone, on your iPhone, on your tablet, or your virtual, any electronic device. That's what you're thinking of when you think of social media. And you also think of community and network, right? You're posting information, you're sharing, right? It's not just for you. Some people do keep them for themselves as like a virtual like photo album that they can reference and look back at years later. But we think about community and building a network specifically for business. You want to reach your audience, so you're broadening your community and your reach through social media. So I will actually share the formal definition of what social media is by the Merriam-Webster dictionary. So social media is forms of electronic communication through which users create online communities to share information, ideas, personal messages, and other content. So it pretty much aligns with what we think it is. But just to demystify the word social media, it is what it is. So there are different forms of social media. When you are forming your business, it's important to understand your business when you're developing your business plan or your business model. It's important to be very clear on the direction you want your business to go. So there are so many different sort of social media platforms. You want to make sure you're using the correct one for your business. You want to make sure that you're using the right platform that your target audience uses most. So there are social media platforms. There are some that focus more on the media aspect, more visual. There are some that focus more on the discussion. So it's more so talk or like forums, conversations, rather than images. And then there are some that are used for reviews. So what do you want to use? You may be able to use all of them. You may be able to use one or two. So when you're developing your business model, include what social media platforms you want to use for your business from the beginning, because that will help you be able to cater your content, what you'll be spending time doing. Will you be developing more videos? Will you be developing more images, graphics, or will you just be creating more like copy, text? So that's important to know. So examples of social media platforms are Facebook, one of the most popular ones, Twitter, LinkedIn, and Nextdoor. Okay, so I'm not sure if we've heard of all of these yet, but so Facebook is a social media networking site where users can post comments, share photographs, and connect with family and friends online. Okay, so Facebook is posting, commenting, sharing photos, and connecting with others. That's the foundation of what Facebook is for. Twitter is a service for friends, family, and coworkers to communicate and stay connected through an exchange of quick, frequent messages known as tweets. And some call it also microblogging. So if you have something to say, you quickly can go to Twitter and it'll get out. I know a lot of people also use Twitter to review a product or a company, also to rant and complain about products and companies, right? So it's something you can go quickly and reach out with your tweets. LinkedIn. So this is interesting because when LinkedIn first started, it was heavy on just like put your resume and job hunting. But now it's evolved, it has a lot of competition and it's evolved to also become more social. Okay, so LinkedIn is the world's largest professional network on the internet. You can build and engage with your professional network, access knowledge, insights, and opportunities. So a lot of this information I've pulled directly from the platform because this dictates what it's built for. I know we use a lot of platforms in different ways other than what they were built for or designed for, but this is just the foundation of what they're for. Nextdoor, I find to be very unique because it's based on your neighborhood. So if you want to know what's going on in your community, your direct neighborhood, not necessarily New Haven. Yes, I am in New Haven, so I can see what's going on in New Haven, but I can specifically see what's going on in my neighborhood that I live in Westville. I can see what's going on, what events are going on. In my business, I can post if I have an event going on in Westville and I want my neighbors to know what's going on, I would use that. So Nextdoor is an app for neighbors where you can get local tips, buy and sell items, and more. So outside of business, also, if something is going on up the street and it's like a big commotion and you don't know what's going on, you just pass by, I find that people go on Nextdoor to see if there's any conversations going on about what's going on up the street. Or if there's no conversations, they will pose a question. Hey, what's going on? I saw this. So that's an interesting app, social media platform to use. When it comes to media, that's more visual, right? More media heavy platforms. So automatically Instagram. I love Instagram. I'm very visual, creative, artsy. I love to just scroll and look at what people are doing, what's out there. I find that people use Instagram and Facebook similarly. However, Instagram is much more visual, and you have the opportunity to add a caption to your posts. YouTube, very visual, very media heavy. You're uploading videos and sharing videos. And TikTok. I haven't gotten into TikTok. I find, Instagram has a lot of features that are similar to what TikTok offers. TikTok, the audience is expanding, but I find that it caters to a younger audience. So Instagram has features such as reels, stories, that are similar to the features of TikTok. So I'll just read. Instagram is a free photo and video sharing app available on iPhone and Android. People can upload photos or video and share with their followers or with a select group of friends. YouTube, you can upload original content and share it with friends, family, and the world. TikTok is a short form video sharing app that allows users to create and share 15-second videos on any topic. So regardless the industry, you can go on and post a 15-second video on TikTok, and it'll reach the world, hopefully. So the discussion platforms, Reddit is a popular one. So if you want to find out anything that's going on, you can go on Reddit and search what conversations are going on. So sometimes there are TV shows, those TV shows that you just go on and binge, and you want to know what happens after the season is over. Some people go on Edit and see what's going on. They look up conversations. As far as business, people also post about their events on Reddit. Okay. Blogs, not necessarily a social media platform, but blogs can be used as social media. And Clubhouse is a new platform as well. When I think of Clubhouse, I think about a more audio version of Twitter. So it's like your soapbox, but I will read the official description of what these platform orders offer outside of my personal ideas and thoughts on them. So Reddit is a network of communities where people can dive into their interests, hobbies, and passions. A massive collection of forums where people can share news and content or comment on other people's posts. Blogs are a regularly updated website or web page, typically one run by an individual or small group that is written in an informal conversational style. So that's where the discussion comes in. Generally, people, others.
Teresa, I'm sorry. Hi. There is a problem, I think, with the microphone. We had a little bit.
Can you hear me now?
We can hear you, yes.
Okay, sorry about that. I think so.
It's okay.
So Clubhouse is an audio-based social media app, a new type of social product based on voice that allows people everywhere to talk, tell stories, develop ideas, deepen friendships, and meet interesting new people around the world. Okay, so finally, the review social media platforms. I have Yelp and Google. These are extremely important for your business in a way that's different from the others, because when you are developing your business and you're selling your product or your service, you want to have your customer write reviews about your business. So on Google, you can create a Google reviews account where your customer can go and write reviews. And when someone searches your business, the reviews will come up. And I'm sure you've probably used it to search existing businesses before, and you see the reviews. You know, so if someone has 2 stars, you're like, okay, maybe I won't go there. I'll support someone else. If someone has 5 stars, okay, let me look further. So you can set up your Google review for your own business. And I encourage that. Yelp can be used in the same way. Okay. So Yelp has user reviews and recommendations of best restaurants, shopping, nightlife, food, entertainment, things to do, services, and more. Google provides helpful information and help your business stand out. Reviews show up next to your business profile in maps and search. Okay. So once you figure out what platform or platforms you want to use, now you have to figure out a strategy, how you're going to use the platform to work for you. Okay. And you want to do it smartly. So hashtags is kind of like an accessory. So you're going to a networking event and you want to wear an accessory that's going to catch someone's eye, that's going to entice them to want to talk to you over someone else. Okay. So I have these funny clown nose glasses as an accessory. You'll definitely stand out, right? So that you need to create an effective hashtag strategy so that you can be discovered on social media, and it's not going to happen overnight. Okay. So it helps with discoverability, and you have to diversify your hashtags. Every hashtag that works for Facebook may not necessarily work for Instagram. So this you'll discover as you're doing research to develop your strategy. You've already identified your target customer, you know, down to what they like to drink, you know, what their day-to-day is, how old they are, is it a male or female, if they have children, what school they went to. You would know all these little details about your target customer, your ideal customer. And when you're reviewing your hashtag strategies, you will go to these platforms and see what your customer is looking at. What hashtags are they looking at, right? And it doesn't need to be complicated, but it'll take time for you to develop a solid hashtag strategy, and it changes over time. So consistency is definitely key. I've worked with a client at the library that has social media, and they wanted to focus more on developing their social media and growing their following. And, you know, I made suggestions about different hashtags to use. You can use as many. I think you can post up to 30 hashtags or as few, but you want to make it count. Also, which I didn't mention, when you select the platform that you're going to use, you want to make sure that you use the business version if it's available, because, you know, if you can use the regular version at first until you're comfortable to change it into a business account. However, business social media platforms has a lot more features that would be beneficial to your business, that will help you track the progress and analytics and things like that. So you should use a business account if it's available over just a regular account when you're doing that. And that will also help with the research that you need to do to create your strategy. Okay. Okay, so I went over identifying your ideal client, and please, if you have any questions, please feel free to include it in the chat. I know this is a lot of information, so if you need me to slow down or review anything again, please just include it in the chat, and I'd be happy to go back. Okay, so you want to try to assign 5 to 10 hashtags to each type of post. So we'll go over in the next slide the different types of posts that you could post, and you want to pay attention to what gets more attention. So I know me for my business, after a week or so, or a couple weeks, I go back and I look and see what I posted that gets the most likes, the most reach. I know people like to see more posts with me, pictures of me, right? So I can post more pictures of myself over something that doesn't get as much attention. But not just because you want to be strategic about it. And then, like I mentioned, you always want to revisit and revise when needed. This is not set in stone. Your business is going to grow. Your social media is going to grow. Your following, your reach, and you want to be able to maneuver with it. So the content. So I mentioned in the previous slide, you want to assign 5 to 10 hashtags per post type. So these are a different type of posts. If you are ever confused about what you should post on your social media, these are some ideas that I think are pretty much what people are posting throughout various industries on social media. This is what your followers are interested in. This is going to help them understand who you are, what your business is, what you provide, what are the benefits of them supporting your business over someone else. Sometimes it's just the fact that it's you. So I know a lot of people are afraid to post about themselves and it doesn't have to be a picture of you to post about yourself. So if you're not, camera friendly or whatever, you don't have to worry about that. But generally when people are supporting, they want to know who that person is, and it makes it more personable when you're including about you. And when you are including information about yourself, it doesn't necessarily have to be in your main post. And so what I'm explaining now, I'm thinking mostly I use personally for my business, Instagram and Facebook. I use Instagram more than I use Facebook. So whatever I'm sharing, it's most likely gearing towards Instagram and Facebook. So it may not apply to other platforms. So please keep that in mind. So you want to post behind the scenes. You want to know what, I know you're teaching classes, but it's nice to know, what do you do when you're setting up for those classes? How do you, design the classes? You're doing photo shoots for your business. What does that shoot look like? People they want to know. That's what social media is. They want to know, they want to see, they want to feel connected, they want to feel a part of it. Your why. This is a big one. And I get a lot of engagement for my why posts, because this is also an opportunity for your audience to see who you are and why, because sometimes the why is not what people would think. It's not always about profit. Sometimes there's a deeper cause behind a lot of the time, most oftentimes behind your business, it's not just the financial aspect, right? Because sometimes that just doesn't come immediately. So your why. So you want to share why you do what you do. Okay. And I use inspiration and encouragement as fillers. Okay. Sometimes you're wide out, you're behind the scenes out, you're everything out, you don't have anything to post, but you can always find some inspiration and encouragement. Okay. Again, about you. What's something about you? It could just be, I'm enjoying a dirty chai tea latte with oat milk. That's what I like. My favorite color is pink. And, it's an opportunity to engage with your audience. Ask them what's their favorite color. My favorite color is not pink, but since I'm wearing pink. But so, about you, that's an opportunity to develop content and engage. Business benefits and features. Going back to why would they support you over another business? So these are all different things that you can use as a guide for your content development, and develop 5 to 10 hashtags for each of these topics. So whenever you are posting something behind the scenes, you will use that same set of hashtags. After a while, if you see they're not performing well, or they're not reaching enough people, then you can change. You do a little bit more research, see what people are posting for behind the scenes. When people first started posting behind the scenes, they would say hashtag BTS. And I look young. I'm young, but I'm not that young. So I'm like, what is BTS? So I'm doing research to figure out, what is BTS? Everyone's using BTS in their hashtags. What is it behind the scenes? So that's something, you will get to know as you do your research. Okay, so scheduling. This helps a lot, especially for us busy entrepreneurs. Scheduling. So you want to figure out how many posts you're going to upload each week, or if you want to do it monthly, whatever, but I find it easy to break it down by week. So generally with social media, you should be engaging every day. You need to be consistent. I'll be honest and tell you that I do not engage every day. There's just not enough hours in the day. Okay. But for starters, if you say, I'm going to post 4 posts a day, 4 posts a week, I'm going to do 2 Instagram posts and 2 Facebook posts. I'm going to post on Instagram on Mondays and Wednesdays, and I'm going to post on Facebook Tuesdays and Thursdays, or Tuesdays and Fridays. I'm not going to post on the weekends. Whatever you decide, stick to it. Okay. So they say you should post every day, and it doesn't have to be a post. It could just be a story. You can add a nice quote, or it's the first day of the month, happy May, or something. But we want to be thoughtful about what we're posting to, because some people just post for post's sake, and it's the same content. So I'm not going to want to tune into their stories and see what they're posting if every time I'm looking, they're posting the same things every day. So pick a schedule and stick to it. And then post schedulers. Oh, these are so life-saving. So I used to use later.com. It's free, but they do have some paid options to post for. I believe you can post for Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram on later.com. But then Facebook publishing tools, they call it Meta Business Suite. They further develop this scheduling tool, and you can schedule for both Instagram and Facebook. What I really like about that tool is that it tells you the ideal times for your customer on each of those platforms. So if I know if I'm posting on Instagram on Mondays and Wednesdays, I develop my content and I go to schedule it on Wednesday, but I don't necessarily know what time. It will suggest a time for you, and it's usually pretty accurate. So I like those tools. There are other tools I always go for what's free first. But there are tools, there's other tools that you have to pay to do scheduling. So if it's in your budget and it works for you, then I'd say go for it. But these do the job for me. And also dedicate a day for scheduling. Okay. It's a lot. And we as entrepreneurs have a lot going on. Sometimes it takes more than a day. So I used to do a day for social media. So that would also include getting my images, figuring out what I'm going to post, creating the content. And getting my images is not just getting my images, because some people, they can just get their images. But me, I like to create and make things pretty. So I'm designing things and it takes time. So now I realize I need to break it down where I have a day to figure out what I'm going to post. Then I have to have a day to actually design or, gather the images, design the post. And then I need a day to create the content, with including the hashtags. And then I need a day to schedule everything. So you can break it down and don't feel like you have to do everything in one setting. Do what works for you. I know some people schedule their posts weekly, and others do it monthly. So I've done both. Weekly tends to work better for me. Monthly, it's not enough time for me to get it all done in like a few settings. I just have too much going on. I'm not sitting down that long to be able to do everything, to schedule my whole month of social media. So when it comes to scheduling, scheduling calendar helps. This is just an example that I pulled online. You can get as detailed as you want. You can create one on like an Excel or Microsoft Word, whatever program you're most comfortable with. Just make sure you have, each day, and then you have a section for, each platform that you're going to use. This one has Instagram, Facebook, and then they have a section for stories, Instagram and Facebook stories. And then you can also add the photo that you're going to use and the caption. Some people like to print it out and do it, which I think helps sometimes, but also when you use the Made Up Business Suite tool and later app or whatever scheduling app you use, you can see this all in a digital format. So you can use both or choose one or the other. So also something that I didn't mention. So when you're starting out your social media, and right now I'm speaking specifically for Instagram, but it applies to other platforms as well. You want to, when you're first starting off, some people, they don't know what to post. They just post one thing. You want to front load 12 posts. So that's there. It may take time for you to grow your page, but you want to, excuse me, you want to front load 12. So that's like a nice visual. When someone new comes to your page, it looks like you have more going on, right? So you want to do that. Also, you want to, in addition to using the business profile, it doesn't allow you to make, I don't think it allows you to make your page private for your business profile. But some people they don't use business. So either way, make sure that your profiles are public, because you're a business. You want people to be able to search you and see what you do. There's no point in being private unless there's a reason, but that's your purpose. You want to extend your reach. So if I go to a business and I can't see their social media, I think that's kind of weird. What else? Okay, so, and going back to content as well, you want to batch your content. So like I mentioned, I have a day where I'm just doing images, sourcing images and designing. You want to think about where you're going to use it, because all content is not suitable for all platforms, right? I know Instagram is more visual, more pretty. Facebook, you don't have to be that, it's not that visual. And I'm actually still trying to figure out Facebook. It's not my favorite platform. So you got to think about, okay, so if I'm posting this to Instagram, I can kind of tweak it a little bit and use it the same photo, maybe with a different caption on Facebook 2 weeks later, right? So just because you used it once on Instagram does not mean that that's it. You should repurpose your content. And if you have YouTube, if you have a video, you want to take, you have your thumbnail, you can use part of that in your Facebook or in your Instagram. So think about different ways you can use the same content, okay? Yeah. So generally when I'm scheduling my social media, I would schedule Instagram because I love Instagram. So I would go out and schedule all my Instagram, and then I would see how I can use any of those posts in Facebook. And sometimes it's a post about something going on this week. So 2 weeks later, it's not going to be relevant. So I won't post that. But if it's something about who I am, or like my why or something, that can be used on Facebook as well. So I would maybe use a different version of the same image and, use different hashtags, tag the business, or, tag other like collaborative business, other like people that you're collaborating with, or, anything like that. That's what I do. And also Canva. So I mentioned I use a lot of, I do design, and I like to design my my posts. Canva. I love, love, love Canva. I think I mentioned it in every one of my virtual programs this season. And Canva is free. They have templates for you to be able to design your posts. You can use it for, they have an option here, social media. And you can choose, if you want a Facebook post, if you want an Instagram story, or if you're doing a YouTube video, or whatever it is, even for your Facebook banners or whatever it is, you can design it on Canva. And it's great because they have different templates that you can customize for your own needs. So that makes it extremely easy to create content. So please use what's there, and just be consistent. Whatever you decide to do, you got to be consistent. It's not gonna be an overnight change. The more consistent you are, the more you will see your reach and your following will improve or increase. I think that's pretty much it. I'm trying to think because there's so much. I think those are the basics. Also, I'm going to go back a little bit when we spoke about hashtags. And I'm thinking about one client. So when you are creating your hashtag strategy, you want to use hashtags that relate to the visual. So whatever image you're posting, but not obvious. Like if I'm, okay, so I don't like, so if I'm, okay, so if I have a picture, I think I have a picture of me sitting on a couch drinking a cup of tea, and the couch is yellow because that's my brand color. So I'm thinking about my audience, right? My audience they are knitters, crocheters, sewers, or people that are interested in doing those things or learning. So when I say visual, I'm not going to say, oh, hashtag yellow couch, hashtag cafe, maybe cafe, I don't know. But I will probably say like hashtag wind down, wind down and stitch or something like that, because that's what I'm doing. I'm sitting in a cafe, winding down, and I'm going to stitch because I don't get enough time in my week to actually sit down and do that. So you want to relate something to the visual, and you also want to relate to the content. So whatever's in your caption, what are you talking about? You create hashtags to attract those people that are searching, because hashtags are for discoverability. So if I mean, I don't want to go too far in, but if I'm in a new city, and I think I saw a question coming in, if I'm in a new city and I want to find someone to do custom sculpture, right? I'm gonna do hashtag unique sculptures in New Haven sculptures or something like, so think about what your audience is going to be looking for when you're creating your hashtag strategy.
And we have a question on the chat. I don't know if you're able to read it.
There is, and I don't have it off the top of my head. Someone asked, are there any websites that you know of that inform people on popular hashtags based on the industry your business is? There is, and there is a popular one. I can't think of the name off the top of my head, but I'm sure if you do a search, it'll probably be one of the top ones. There are. It could help. It could help. But I think as a new business, in order to really dig deep and get rooted into your own work, I would just go on the social media platform and research, because there are tons of content out there. You don't necessarily know where it's coming from. Like even like YouTube, there's a ton of people, directing you what hashtags work, but you don't know until you try. So it's a good starting point if you don't have a lot of time to do that research. But there are. So that's a good question. Any other questions?
Not so far.
Not so far. Okay. So we have some programs coming up. On the 18th, there is herbal culinary beauty and wellness creations experience with Chef Nadine Nelson at Common Ground. It's going to be from 6 to 8. So we'll be doing bath soaks, planting herbs, and then we'll be cooking communal cooking. So it'll be really great. It'll be rain or shine. It's a covered location, so I hope you can join us there. Also, as I mentioned, my residency is ending at the end of June. So my last two programs will be a knit and crochet program, Learn to Knit Mitered Squares on Friday, June 3rd at 3:30, and Learn to Crochet, Corner to Corner Crochet, Thursday, June. Oh, I can't say. Let's see, Thursday, June 9th at 2:30 p.m. So there are two other programs as well that are still in development, bringing back art therapist Jane Bichot-Semivelos for a art workshop, and trying to bring someone else in. So I thank you all for joining us this afternoon. It's a beautiful sunny day here in New Haven. So I really thank you for taking the time out to hear what I have to share, what we have to share, and to invest in yourself and your business. Let's see. So thank you. And I hope to see you at our next program, and feel free. I know I covered a lot, and social media is such a huge topic, and there's so much you can do. So you can schedule an office hours appointment with me if you want to meet me one-on-one, and we can, even work on a strategy for yourself. Celeste, would you be able to put a link for my office hours?
Yes, let me do it now.
So you can schedule a 30-minute session. My office hours are on Mondays from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. and on Thursdays from 12 p.m. to 2 p.m. So you can schedule your slot. We have Zoom appointments or in person. So whatever works for you. And also my email that you can reach me at is creative@nhfpl.org. So if you have any other questions, please feel free to email me and I'll get back to you. Celeste just put the Creative in Residence office hours link if you want to take a look and see if there's a slot that suits you in your schedule. I'm here. That's what I'm here for. So please reach out.
And you do both, right? In person and in Zoom.
Yes, I do
That's
in
good.
person. Yeah. Mhm. Okay. Thank you all. I hope it was helpful.
Thank you so much. Yes, I think it was. Yes,
You're welcome.
I was here in the back end. So yeah, it
You're
was good.
welcome.
All right, so bye everyone. I'm gonna end the session now.